Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Maryville, Missouri. SNU basketball is live and on the air from the NCAA Division II Central Region Tournament hosted by Northwest Missouri State here in Maryville, Missouri. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm Luke McConnell alongside Russ Frisbee. SNU basketball back in the NCAA tournament for the second consecutive year and facing the same opponent from a year ago, St. Cloud State. SNU coming into tonight, the number 5 seed in the Central Region. St. Cloud State, the number 4 seed coming into tonight's matchup. And Russ, it's been a lot of fun today with the 3 previous matchups throughout the day, and just a fun time to be a part of SNU basketball right now.
Oh yeah, just a fun atmosphere here this afternoon. Game 4, so we've gotten to hang around here, see some of the games. Great job by Northwest here.
Into tonight's matchup off of a great weekend last weekend in Bartlesville with the 2019 Great American Conference Tournament title. They were the first team to accomplish back-to-back title runs at the tournament. And Russ, running through the games here earlier today, started off with a doozy. Missouri Southern winning over Washburn, a 6 seed over the 3 seed, 101-100. Missouri Southern up comfortably throughout the game there, thanks to 46 points and 11 rebounds from Cam Martin out of Yukon High School, actually. Martin went 9 of 10 from three-point range in that game before fouling out with about 7 minutes or so in that game. And that's when Washburn made their comeback. They had a chance for the win, but the ball squirted away from their point guard there at the end and fell by 1 point to Missouri Southern. And if that game wasn't exciting enough, our Great American Conference brethren Southeastern took on Northern State, the number 2 seed. Southeastern came in the number 7 seed. And after a tough 38 minutes, Southeastern found themselves down 83-72 with 2 minutes remaining on the clock. And from that point on, Southeastern put on a massive run to close the game, 17-6 to close that deficit. Kevin Buckingham scored 14 of those 17 points, and Southeastern forced over in overtime to the 115-103. 32 points and 9 assists. Just a tremendous showing for Southeastern and the Great American Conference as a whole to get that upset win over Northern State. And then in the game we just watched here, Minnesota State last year in the first round. So here we go with tonight's game, and just a quick reminder of how tough the Central Region actually is here. It's one of the toughest in the country, if not the toughest, Russ, as the past 5 years have seen last year's region champion Northern State was the runner-up. 2017, Northwest Missouri State ended up the national championship. 2016, Augustana out of South Dakota won the national championship. And in 2014, Central Missouri won the national championship as well. So 3 of the past 5 national champions have come out of the Central Region, and last year's runner-up out of the Central Region as well. It is very difficult to win here in the Central Region, Russ.
Yeah, GSE doing a great job showing up this week. We already talked about some of the difficulty with that region, and some great games we've gotten to watch here this afternoon. Very excited for the GAC win earlier, hope to get another one. But Luke, they talked about during those first 2 games, all 4 teams scoring over 100. Just the high-powered offenses on display in this region. We talked about Northwest and what they bring to the table. A lot of teams here looking to shoot the 3 ball, looking to get out in transition, and not a big key focus on defense. Guys wanting to get out here, play some offense, and that has been the tone of this regional so far.
And let's go ahead and get into tonight's matchup between SNU and St. Cloud State. Again, last year between these 2 teams, St. Cloud won the game 81-68. That was a 6-3 upset for the Huskies. It was SNU held a 2-point lead at halftime, but a 21-4 run to start the second half spelled doom for SNU, and they were unable to get the offense going there in the second half and wound up falling again 81-68. Both teams are primarily the same that we saw a year ago. St. Cloud State did lose 1 starter, but they've got pretty much everybody else back. SNU, of course, losing no one off that roster from last year. They've got everybody back. So these teams, ironically, are a little familiar with each other, something you're not used to seeing when you talk about NCAA tournament berths.
Yeah, and maybe an advantage, maybe a disadvantage, but these 2 teams familiar with each other, know the scouting report, gotten to see each other in this same building in a very similar situation. So now, both for SNU and for St. Cloud State, opportunity to come as to what they're going to see. Come out ready and familiar with the opponent and come out firing.
And we talked to head coach Adam Bohach last night about that, playing the same opponent for the 2nd consecutive year and being in the NCAA tournament for the 2nd consecutive year. And here's what he had to say about the second go-round for SNU.
And so I think they know that, it's all about those 40 minutes and how well you can play, and you're going to have to play well to advance. Yeah, we hadn't really talked about it much. I noticed a little bit today when we went to practice, you just kind of know where to go and what to do and what entrance to go in. And, I suppose it's like anything, you're just a little bit more comfortable with all of the surroundings and kind of the logistics of the tournament. There's a couple things that are unique to the starting lineup and to, practice and just things like that that really have no bearing on the game. And so I think they know that, it's all about those 40 minutes and how well you can play, and you're going to have to play well.
So St. Cloud State comes into tonight's game. We've seen a lot of offense today, Russ, but really, if you're SNU, you're probably not wanting a lot of offense in this game. As St. Cloud State comes in, scoring 83 points a game, that's number 42 in the country. They shoot right at 50% from the field. That's 14th in the country. 39% from three-point range. That's 30th in the country. And they only turn the ball over 9.7 times per game. That's 7th in the country. Whereas SNU, statistically, one of the best defensive teams here in the region, if not the best. They are only giving up 67 points a game and allowing opponents to shoot just under 41%. Both of those are top 25 numbers in the country. And SNU will be, certainly looking to make this more of a rock fight than a track meet.
Yeah, SNU certainly stands out in this region as the team that's going to try and press the issue on defense. They're not looking for the 100-point night. They can get out and score the ball when they want to and when they need to. But look for SNU to try and break serve a little bit here. In this tournament, we've seen some very high-scoring, very high-action offensive games. Look for SNU to try and come out and stifle opponents defensively.
And for St. Cloud State, Coach Bohach had some thoughts there on St. Cloud as well. And let's get his thoughts there that we talked to him last night.
I don't know if it's an advantage. They're awfully good, Luke. Their best player, Gage Davis, will be the best player we've played against this year. I would guess he would be on several All-American lists. Tremendous scorer. The best scorer I've coached against since I've been here. Can just put the ball in the basket with great ease and in lots of different ways. And then they have some good pieces around him that complement him. And then he can really pass the ball and rebound the ball. So it's hard to eliminate his effect on the game because he kind of does it in lots of different ways. And so, I don't know if it's an advantage to play them again. They're awful good. There is a little bit of familiarity it doesn't take any convincing to convince the guys that number 20 for St. Cloud's really good, or number 40 is really good, or number 10 is really good, because they remember all those guys from last.
We've talked a lot about this season about SNU's big three with Micah Spade, Jonathan Dunn, and Noah Starkey, and how as those three go, SNU goes. That's certainly the same case for St. Cloud State with their big three of Brinley Tyson, Gage Davis, and Sean Smith, three seniors, and none more important than guard Gage Davis. He's 6'4", he's a transfer from IPFW, a Bolingbrook, Illinois native. He's number 8 in the nation in scoring, 26 points per game, 7.6 rebounds per game, and he also dishes out 3 assists per game. He scored 47 points against Wayne State in the NSIC tournament, a game that St. Cloud State lost 77-76. He's gone over 10 points in every single game this season. He's hit 20 points 23 times, 30 points 9 times, and he's hit 40 3 times. And he is the engine that makes this offense go for St. Cloud State.
Yeah, absolutely cannot talk about SNU's emphasis on defense tonight without talking about Gage Davis. That's where it starts tonight. That's where it ends tonight, the way they're able to shut him down. So we talked about St. Cloud's offense running through him, want the ball in his hands, whether he's facilitating or putting the ball in the bucket. That is priority number 1 for SNU on defense, shutting down Gage Davis.
And Adam Bohach had some nice thoughts on Gage Davis and just how important that matchup is for SNU tonight.
We're going to try to compete really hard. Last year he just got 6 baskets on us, but we fouled him too much. He got 14 free throws. And that proved to be the difference in the game. I mean, the teams were evenly matched from the floor, from the three-point line, but they got us at the free throw line. And a little bit of that was us playing the catch-up game there at the end, fouling, but more of it was us turning the ball over and having to chase them in transition and fouling them that way. And then number 20 just being really good and playing with the ball and driving the ball right through our chest and us having to foul him. So tomorrow I hope we do a better job of playing without fouling and maybe competing against him and stopping his penetration before he gets right to the front of the rim, so we can limit the number of free throw attempts.
And this second go-round for SNU in the NCAA tournament, a big opportunity to earn some respect for the Great American Conference. Coming into this season, the GAC just 2-9 the last 6 years in the Central Region, and since the Great American Conference became a part of Division II and the Central Region, it's kind of been looked down upon by the MIAA and the NSIC, two conferences that have a plethora of programs that are consistently some of the best in the country. And SNU's lost last year. Of course, ECU won one game in 2017, but Arkansas Monticello and Arkansas Tech both lost, and ECU lost in the semifinals. And then you have to go all the way back to 2013 when Hardin went 1-1 here in the Central Region. So the Great American Conference certainly looked down upon a little bit by its conference brethren.
Yeah, and often tied to history. It's so difficult being such a new conference to the game. You just don't automatically get that respect, and it's so difficult to come in and win. But until the GAC is able to show up well and really compete year in, year out at this regional tournament, it's going to be a little bit of an uphill battle for them to really gain that respect between the MIAA and the other in this region.
And Southeastern certainly taking a big step toward gaining some respectability with that incredible win over Northern State earlier today. One of the, again, last year's runner-up and one of those perennial powers in this region and the country as a whole. And Coach Adam Bohach also had some thoughts on the Great American Conference gaining respect here in the Central Region.
I think it's super, and that's what we got to do is we have to win games up here, and they certainly have a ball club that can. They got a really tough opponent in Northern State who's really, really good. And, that's the next step for the league is to win some games up here. And, we've been awful close 2 years ago. I think East Central won their first-round game. And, last year we were the only representative from the league and did not win. And so, this year with two teams up here, it'd be nice to see the GAC advance and can stick around as long as possible.
SNU sort of can have a chip on their shoulder by being the 5th seed. This is their 2nd consecutive Great American Conference regular season title and tournament title season. They were 28-5, ended up with more wins this year than they did last year in that program record-setting season, and yet here they are as the 5 seed, in part because teams just haven't been as good in the Great American Conference, and just a non-conference schedule that didn't end up as difficult as it looked on paper at the start of the year.
Yeah, and it's difficult. You know, you wish in a perfect system rankings come out perfect every time, but it's just so difficult to get things straight. And SNU maybe can come in with a chip on their shoulder saying, you know, we had an opportunity, could have been that 3 seed, could have been that 4 seed, and really just the difficulty that goes with being on the number 1 seed side of the bracket. But at this point, you know, it's all said and done. SNU now with an opportunity to face off against St. Cloud again. Strength of schedule really impacting that seeding. But at the end of the day, strength of schedule, seeding, it's all been put in place, and here we are.
And Coach Adam Bohunch had a few more thoughts and clarifications on the way the schedule worked out for SNU this season.
And who's not as good as the team that won the first round game, so that affects your strength of schedule. So there were a lot of different factors, and so when you put all that in the hat, this is where it shook out, and ultimately the seeding just determines what time you're going to play and what color of jersey you're going to wear. You're going to have to beat 3 really good teams to win the regional, and so you know we start with St. Cloud and we'll go from there.
So going back to tonight's matchup between the Crimson Storm and the Huskies, again, Micah Spate with just a tremendous weekend in Bartlesville last week, averaging 22 points a game, 7.7 rebounds, and nearly 6 assists per game, while just absolutely taking over late in the stages against Ouachita Baptist to get that win, and then against Henderson State and Southeastern, he was just phenomenal. And his 37 shots in those 2 games, by far his most this season in a 2-game stretch. His previous most was 28 against Northwestern and Southeastern back in early February, and that performance from Spate earned him Most Valuable Player honors for the Great American Conference Championship. And Russ, what is it about Micah that just makes him so dynamic on the court?
Well, you know, his speed and his ability to get to the hoop, also paired with his just a little bit of his shooting range. I think so many times teams come into a game with SNU, they look at Dunn's scoring ability, they look at Starkey's abilities in the post, and I think sometimes he just gets overlooked, and obviously often to their detriment, he's able to be just so explosive with the ball in his hand, and when shots aren't falling for his teammates or when it's time for him to step up, he has proven that he can be an absolute ignition for this SNU Crimson Storm.
And Spate went through kind of a rough patch there in January. In the 6 games in January, he shot less than 40% from the floor in those games. And since that point, he's shot 50% since the home game against Arkansas Monticello back on January 24th. And that includes a 2 for 14 showing at Henderson State and that 3 of 11 showing against Ouachita in the first round of the GAC tournament. So Spade has been playing his best basketball over the last month and a half, and you got to love that if you're SNU. But for this game, the three-point line is going to come into play in a big way for both teams. Neither team particularly good at defending the three-point line. St. Cloud State allows opponents to shoot 37.5%. That's 245th in the country. But SNU, 36.6%. That's 220th in the country. And of course, both of these teams face a lot of good three-point shooting teams throughout the season, but it's going to play a factor for SNU tonight in this one.
Yeah, we talk about that eliteness of SNU's defense, but three-point shooting has been a slip struggle for them all season. And as we talked about the offensive prowess of this region, that's something they're going to need to tune up tonight and just have ready for the rest of this season, because teams are looking to score, they're looking to shoot the ball, and SNU has a big advantage in that defensive category, but it's going to start with stopping that three ball. If you take away the other team's ability to shoot from deep, SNU is going to put themselves in very, very good opportunities to win.
St. Cloud State shoots 39.4% from three-point range, and they're led by Brenley Tyson, who shoots 51.5% on 218 attempts. He is the #1 three-point shooter by percentage in the country, and SNU will have to be very aware of where he's at on the court at all times. He's also their point guard, so it will be very important for SNU to be aware of him at all stages tonight. On the other side, Spade had a great showing in Bartlesville from the three-point line, but Jonathan Dunn still a little bit of a struggle from three. He was great against Henderson State and Southeastern in those semis and finals. He was 15 of 31 from the field after going just 3 of 15 from the field against Ouachita in the opening round, but still just 3 of 14 from three-point range in those games, and he's 4 of 26 in his last 5 games. Of course, he had that shoulder injury in the win over Harding back on February 21st, and you wonder if that's affecting his shot or any way. But either way, SNU needs Jonathan Dunn to be hitting on all cylinders if they're going to advance tonight.
Yeah, Luke, we've talked about all season some of that streakiness with Dunn and really just with SNU's ability to shoot the deep ball. But that's what takes good teams and makes them excellent. What we just talked about for Dunn, the ability to turn a corner this evening, and even for the rest of the Storm, behind Spate, behind Starkey, behind Dunn, whoever it is, that ability to see a guy having a difficult night and pick them up, move on to the next round with or without dominant play. There's so many great scoring options on this Crimson Storm team that you'd love to see Dunn, you'd love to see Spate come out and just shoot the lights out. But I think that's what makes SNU special, is that if that doesn't happen, they still have an ability to win that game.
And another thing that sets SNU apart in this one is their depth. SNU consistently running out 9 or 10 guys throughout the season in each game, and St. Cloud State plays about 7 guys consistently. There's a few guys that have played sporadically throughout the year, but 7 guys is about all you're going to see tonight. Tyson averaging 36.6 minutes per game. Gage Davis is at 37 minutes per game, and Sean Smith averages 31 minutes per game. So it's going to be those 7 for St. Cloud State unless SNU can force the Huskies into foul trouble. And that's something they'll certainly be looking to do early by trying to explore their advantage in the post with Noah Starkey.
Absolutely. Noah Starkey, another big key to the game I look to. After watching some of these tournament games, the big things that stand out for SNU so much are the things that other teams aren't doing. That focus on defense, that focus on the paint. We talk about March. Emotions and excitement run high, and sometimes that takes the ball out of the post. So look for tonight how SNU is able to utilize that unusual size, that unusual post presence for Starkey. Because if they're able to use Starkey well, that's something that not a lot of the other teams here at this tournament have at their disposal.
We asked Coach Adam Bohach what would need to happen if SNU were to win tonight against St. Cloud State, and here's what he had to say.
Play without fouling, so Noah can be out there the whole time. And we'll have to limit our turnovers, Luke. If we do those 2 things, if you look at that across at the end and they have 11 turnovers and we have 11 turnovers and they fouled 15 times and we fouled 15 times, I think we'll be in a really good spot to be right there and probably win.
So again, fouling was an issue last year for SNU, and hopefully it will not be an issue tonight for the Crimson Storm. Let's run through the starting lineups tonight. First for the visiting SNU Crimson Storm. Same starting lineup we've seen all season long. First up, number 3, junior guard Micah Spate, 5'10" from Oklahoma City. He's averaging 14.8 points per game, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists per game. And again, coming off Great American Conference Tournament MVP honors last weekend. Number 15, senior guard Zach Johnson, 6 foot from Mansfield, Texas. Best defender on the team, averaging 4 points a game, 2.5 rebounds per game, and 2 assists per game. Number 22, senior guard Quaylen Newton, 6'3" from Bryan, Texas. Tremendous week last week in Bartlesville, and we'll get into that a little bit more later. 7.7 points per game, 6.1 rebounds per game this season after missing the first half of the year with a hip injury. He came back in January and has been tremendous for the Storm ever since. Number 25, junior guard Jonathan Dunn, 6'4" from San Antonio, Texas. Leading scorer at 17.6 points per game, 4.4 rebounds per game. He's second on the team in steals at 1.3 per game. And in the middle, the senior, number 32, Noah Starkey, 6'11", from Hutchinson, Kansas, 14.4 points per game, 7.5 rebounds per game, and 64 blocks this season. That's number 1 in the Great American Conference and one of the top numbers in the country. Across the way for St. Cloud State, number 10, senior guard Brinley Tyson, 6'2", from St. Cloud, Minnesota, averaging 15 points per game, 2 rebounds per game, and he shoots 51.5% from three-point range. Number 12, senior guard Adam Heed Anderson. He's from Copenhagen, Denmark, averaging 3.6 points per game and 2.9 assists per game. Number 20, senior guard Gage Davis, 6'4", from Bolingbrook, Illinois, 26 points per game, 7.6 rebounds per game, and 3 assists per game. Number 40, senior forward Sean Smith, 6'8", from Seville, Spain, averaging 13.7 points per game, 7.5 rebounds per game. He leads the country in blocks at 112 this season. That's an average of just under 4 per game, and he set the single game, single season, and career blocks mark at St. Cloud State this season. And in the middle, junior forward Diamond Onwuka from Barcelona, Spain. He's 6'8", averaging 6.7 points per game and 5.2 rebounds per game. We're all set to go here. Thanks for joining us. Sean Smith wins the tap from Noah Starkey, and we are underway here in Maryville. Gage Davis controlling up top. Zach Johnson gets the assignment first on the dynamic scorer. Hides behind the Sean Smith screen. Now Onwuka in the corner, guarded by Newton. Trying to take Q off the dribble. Now Smith working on Starkey. Shuts off the baseline. Spate reaches in. Anderson reposts Smith. Hook shot over Starkey, rolls in. And it's 2-0 Huskies.
Not a bad job on defense there. We talked about at the top of the hour how SNU is able to defend without fouling is going to be a major player in this game.
Spate tried to post up Newton, and it's tipped out of bounds by Onwuka. SNU will inbound on the sideline here with 19 on the shot clock. Good contingent here from SNU. Solid showing from St. Cloud State as well. Gym about half full here after it was packed to the rafters for the Northwest Missouri game. Ball is kicked out of bounds by Heed Anderson. Or just deflected. 13 on the shot clock. SNU will inbound on the baseline. Oh, they did say it was kicked. Shot clock resets to 20 here. Spate inbounding on the baseline. Smith guarding the inbounder. Inbound comes to Johnson. Now Newton up top. Spate guarded by Davis. Now Dunn top of the key, guarded by the shorter Anderson. 10 on the shot clock as Spade has to go to work. Posts up Quaylen Newton. Newton spins, pivots over, tried to shovel it over to Starkey, and it's stolen by Smith. Smith quickly the other way, splits the defense, goes all the way to the basket and lays it in. And it's 4-0 St. Cloud State.
On that first SNU offensive possession, looking a little slow, looking like they were trying to get the ball into Starkey, but St. Cloud State prepared for that look, unable to get the ball into Starkey as he was just working in the paint.
Spate shut off on the drive. Now Newton with it, gets it back up top to Dunn. He's guarded by Tyson. Dunn from the elbow, pulls up, off the back iron, no good. Newton, the offensive rebound. Put it through Smith, missed it, tips the rebound. Starkey unable to control it. Here comes Heed Anderson. Leaves it off for Davis. Crosses over Johnson, down all the way to the basket, lays it in. Quick 6-0 start for the Huskies. Yeah. SNU crashing the boards, but unable to get any shots to fall.
Yeah, I think right there you saw some of that hesitation by the defense. Quaylen Newton had an opportunity to step over, slide over for the charge or the defensive opportunity, but shied away from it.
Starkey gets in deep on Smith and scores, and he's fouled. And that's going to be a big key for SNU, getting Starkey going early, but also trying to get Smith out of the middle. He's only 6'8", but again, 112 blocks this season, leads the country by nearly a 2-to-1 ratio. And Starkey going to the line for 2 free throws. Or excuse me, 1 free throw to complete the 3-point play, and he knocks it down. Starkey had some issues at the foul line in Bartlesville. He was just 2 of 11 in the game against Ouachita and finished the weekend 6 of 21. But a good 1-for-1 start there. Davis up top, guarded by Johnson. Onwuka in the corner, guarded by Newton. It's stolen by Quaylen Newton. Micah Spate coming the other way for the Storm. Dunn on the left wing in front of the St. Cloud bench. He's guarded by Tyson. Gets the screen from Starkey. Goes baseline. Shut off by Smith. Tries to hook it in, and he does! Beautiful move on the baseline by Jonathan Dunn, and it's 6-5 St. Cloud. A quick 5-0 burst in response from the Storm.
SNU kind of embracing this big defense and post-play motif right now, willing to slow it down, forcing St. Cloud into a half-court game.
Smith thought about a three. Instead, posts up on Onwuka. He gets around Newton, and he lays it in. Newton was quick off his feet on the shot fake and allowed Onwuka to get inside for the easy two. 8-5, St. Cloud leading. 16:45 to go first half. Spate has the mismatch there. Ball comes down to Starkey, but Davis is quick with the hands and knocks it out of bounds. R.J. Palmer quickly into the game for Quaylen Newton. Newton fell for quite a few shot fakes in Bartlesville, and I would imagine that falling for that one is what gave him the quick hook there. So 15 on the shot clock. St. Cloud leading 8-5, and Micah Spate will inbound on the baseline. Inbound comes to Dunn. Tries to drive baseline, shut off by Onwuka. He rises and fires for three. It's off the mark, no good. And Tyson the rebound. Davis coming the other way. Stops and pops from the right wing for three, and it's perfect.
Yeah, right now, St. Cloud State just can't miss. 4 for 4 shooting, while SNU is struggling a little bit more at 40%, but trying to figure out how to contest those shots a little bit better as St. Cloud getting shots to fall.
Palmer, blocked by Smith, gets his own miss back, missed it. And Davis has the miss. Davis all the way to the basket. He's fouled on the floor. And that will take us to our first time out of the game. That foul's going to go on Zach Johnson, his first and the team's first. 15:59 to go first half. St. Cloud jumping out early on SNU. It's 11-5. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back to Maryville. St. Cloud with an early 11-5 start here over SNU. Again, that last foul on Zach Johnson, his first into the game for St. Cloud. Number 4, Trevin Marshall. He's a junior, 6-foot junior from Evanston, Illinois, 6.5 points per game this season. And senior Jace Kitchens, 6'6", from DeKalb, Illinois, 8.5 points per game this season. As Heed, Anderson, and Smith take an early seat. So St. Cloud very small right now. Onwuka, the 5 at 6'8", but he can step out and shoot a three every now and then as well. Davis guarded by the smaller Johnson. He'll rise and fire over him, and it's very short from three, and Spate has the miss.
And a small breakthrough there for SNU. That is the first missed shot by St. Cloud State, and you don't take that lightly.
Dunn, entry pass into Palmer. Going to work on Kitchen. And Kitchen pulled the chair out from under him. And Palmer traveled with it. A turnover for SNU, their second of the evening. Still 11-5 here in the early going. St. Cloud State off to a 5 of 6 start from the field. Davis on the baseline, guarded by Johnson. Fades and fires, no good. Zach Johnson with the rebound. One-on-one with Tyson. He takes it all the way in, missed it. Rebound deflected out of bounds by Onwuka. Missed opportunity there for SNU, but they will retain possession with 15:05 to go in the first half and a fresh shot clock as Coleman Edwards checks into the game for SNU.
Yeah, good job pushing in transition, but just unable to finish that layup as he's going to want that one back.
Dunn guarded by Kitchen. Swings it over to Spate. Now Edwards looking to post up Starkey. He has it. Pivots. Left-hand hook. Left it short. Looked like that slipped off his hand a little bit as he went up with it.
Yeah, just lost the grip.
Trevin Marshall guarding up top. Now Davis with it. He's guarded by Dunn right now. Tyson coming off the curl for three, and he knocks down his first attempt from three. St. Cloud up by 9. Edwards wide open in the corner. He responds from three.
Edwards, someone to watch from three, having an incredible shooting stroke over the past few days, past few games, just lighting the ball up in Bartlesville. A shooting stroke right now that's crucial for SNU.
4 for 8 from three-point range in Bartlesville. He's now got a three-pointer in 13 of the last 14 games. Tyson again, no good, and Starkey has the miss. Again, SNU content to slow this one down and not get in a scoring match like we saw earlier today. As assistant coach Ryan Mahoney said earlier, they prefer rock fights to pillow fights. Entry pass to Starkey, pivoting again, and he dunks it on Onwuka.
Yeah, not taking the gamble with the hook that time as he throws it down with two hands. Little pull up off the front of the rim, and that's 2 points for SNU.
Marshall running the pick and roll in the corner to Kitchen, guarded by Palmer. Now Marshall gets it back up top, guarded by Spate. Gage Davis with 13 on the shot clock. Gets the screen. Dunn sticks right with him. Great defense there. Kitchen, run off the line by Palmer, leaves it back for Onwuka. Step back three-pointer as the shot clock expires. It's no good, and Dunn has the miss. Great defensive possession there for the Crimson Storm. Chance to cut into this 4-point lead. Spate up top, gets it at the high elbow to Palmer. Dunn, entry pass to Starkey. He's deep, and he stuffs it again.
That same mismatch over the top, a great entry pass to Starkey. He had the backside sealed and just all alone to throw that dunk down.
It's going to be there all night for Noah Starkey. Marshall gives it to Davis. Dunn got caught in the air. Palmer comes over and rejects Davis's shot, and Edwards has the miss. SNU can tie or take the lead with a three. And Edwards is called for steps on the pass fake. Sean Smith quickly back in for Onwuka as he goes over to the bench to nurse the pride a little bit.
Nice little change of momentum there. The SNU faithful showing up and adding some energy to this arena. SNU really feeling like they might be back in the driver's seat here early.
Backdoor lob for Smith. Gets it to go, and he's fouled by Micah Spade as Spade read it. Was late on the coverage. Smith was able to finish through the contact. Ashton Charles into the game for Starkey. Starkey will take a seat. Would imagine he would probably sit through the under 12 timeout and then come back in fairly quickly. So Smith at the line for one, and he knocks it down. Smith, a 77% free throw shooter this season, and the lead is 5 for St. Cloud. Spate breaks pressure and Kitchen intercepts the pass intended for Edwards. Marshall coming back the other way with it. Couple early turnovers for SNU here, already 4. Davis with it, guarded by Dunn. Goes away from the screen by Smith. Davis gets it on the baseline, now kicks it back out to Smith.
On a very late call there on Palmer. Palmer maybe had his hand a little bit inside for the reach, but just very late on the whistle. He'll get called on the floor. That'll take us to our under 12.
First foul on Palmer, third on the team. 11:49 to go, first half. St. Cloud leading this one 17-12 over SNU. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back. SNU trailing St. Cloud 17-12. 11:49 to go first half. Last foul on R.J. Palmer was his first, third on the team. St. Cloud will inbound on the baseline. Looks like Starkey did not report to the scorer's table during the timeout, so did not let him come back in. So Palmer and Charles still the big guys on the floor for SNU, joined by Spate, Edwards, and Dunn. Davis inbounding, looked for the lob for Smith, but Palmer was right there. Inbounds comes to Smith anyway. And the Huskies will set up the offense up top with Trevin Marshall. Davis now gets it to Tyson, hounded by Edwards. Smith going to work on Palmer, dumps it down low to Marshall. And that's a shot clock violation. Great defense from the Storm, as St. Cloud was quite unaware of where the shot clock was. Starkey back in for Palmer, and Heed Anderson in for Marshall.
Cloud now looking to exert a little bit of pressure up in a sort of three-quarters court trap. That time, a couple of, on the last possessions, SNU hurried into some ugly passes. Now trying to break this press.
Dunn open in the corner for three. It's short. Rebound is tipped up and in by Ashton Charles. Charles with a huge weekend in Bartlesville, in particular in that championship game. He had 8 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 blocks to go along with 2 3-pointers. Davis gets the switch. SNU recovers. Kitchen drives baseline, shut off by Edwards. Heed Anderson. Ashton Charles with the mismatch there. Spins, pivoting in the lane, fades and fires an ugly shot, and Edwards has the miss. Spate pushing. Goes right by Heed Anderson. He missed it, but Starkey's there to stuff the rebound home. His third dunk of the half. And SNU's down by 1, 10.5 to go first half.
Maybe got off the ground just a little bit early for that follow, but followed hard on the dunk there. Noah Starkey getting this SNU crowd into the game.
Smith at the extended elbow, guarded by Starkey. Now Davis off the curl, shut down by Dunn. Tyson, kick wing to Kitchen. He drives on Charles, gets around him, missed the layup. Starkey has the miss. Good defense from Charles there. Edwards, open, corner three, yes! Coleman Edwards, his second three of the night, and SNU has their first lead, 19-17. Davis goes around the Smith screen. Dunn quickly to shut that down. Davis trying to respond, no. Edwards quickly back the other way for SNU, and they'll slow it down a little bit. Spate up top, guarded by Heed Anderson. Charles comes up to set the screen. They get the switch over to Kitchen. Spate dribbling, Dunn. Entry pass to Starkey. Pivots on Smith. He's fouled, and he'll go back to the line. Second foul on Sean Smith.
Oh, and right now in the paint, St. Cloud State just doesn't have an answer for Noah Starkey. He's doing everything he wants to do in the paint. Putbacks, in-post entries. Right now, just a force to be reckoned with in that SNU paint.
And that second foul on Sean Smith, huge for St. Cloud. It's him and Onwuka as far as the big guys go. Not a lot of options for the Huskies, and he will take a seat. Onwuka into the game for the Huskies. Dunn will take a seat. Jack Johnson back in for the Storm.
We talk about Noah Starkey's height, but as we talked about during the top of the broadcast, with that depth, SNU with a lot of good height, a lot of good post athleticism that they're willing to go deep with. 4 or 5 guy rotation, and that's going to be big as St. Cloud State struggles with some post foul trouble.
It's a 9-0 run for SNU as Starkey hits both. Kitchen gets inside, high off the glass. He got it to go. Incredible shot from Jace Kitchen. Sent that all the way to the top of the backboard, and it managed to come down through the basket. Spate up top, guarded by Heed Anderson. Drives all the way, gets into the body of Kitchen, no call, missed the shot. Onwuka coming back the other way. Kitchen steps into a long three-pointer, no good. Edwards has the miss for SNU. 21-19, SNU leading this one. We're under 9 minutes to go first half. 8:45 to be exact, as Spate controlling against Heat Anderson. Now gets the switch. SNU a massive switch inside. Starkey dumps it off to the cutting Johnson. And a great play from Noah Starkey. And timeout St. Cloud as SNU on an 11-2 run to push the lead to 23-19. 30-second timeout, we'll keep it right here. Just a great play there on that end by Noah Starkey, who had the 6-foot Adam Heat Anderson on him and easily could have just jumped right over him to dunk that one, but instead made the easy dump off for the layup.
Oh yeah, you had the matchup you wanted with Starkey in the paint, but excellent court vision. I mean, maybe it helps when you're standing a foot above the defender, but to see the cutting Zach Johnson for the easy layup on the extra pass, you love that selflessness from the post. SNU right now, all things firing.
And again, you see the substitution pattern for SNU here in this one. Starkey to the bench right before the under 8 timeout, so he will get a breather. He's actually going back with trainer Travis Beach to get some stretching, I believe, or something. Get Davis with it. Now Kitchen open for 3. Charles late to close, but he missed it. Spate high for the rebound.
I think we're seeing Coach Bohach using that depth to his advantage, just in and out with that post rotation, keeping those legs fresh and trying to hound St. Cloud with that athleticism. Palmer, Charles, Starkey, Quaylen Newton, just constantly going right at them with fresh legs in the paint.
Spate crosses over Tyson. Johnson drives baseline, kick corner. Charles working on Onwuka. 6 on the shot clock. SNU going to have to hurry. Zach Johnson gets inside, floater off the glass. It's good! Zach Johnson pushes the lead to 6 for SNU. Heat Anderson up top, guarded by Spate. Calling out the screens from Kitchen and Onwuka. Goes left, Spate up to the challenge. Kick corner, Gage Davis. Now Onwuka, guarded by Palmer. Davis is guarded by Zach Johnson. Hard close. Kick in the corner. Kitchen gets Charles to fly by. Onwuka at the extended elbow with 2 on the shot clock. Barely got it off, and that's an air ball. And another defensive stop for SNU. They have put the clamps on the Huskies here in the first half after a strong start for St. Cloud. It's now 25-19 SNU. 7:13 to go first half. We'll take timeout. SNU with the basketball when we come back after this. .7:13 to go first half. SNU leading this one 25-19, courtesy of a 13-2 run over the last 4 minutes. St. Cloud just one of their last 7, and that one a really miraculous shot from Jace Kitchen. SNU doing this on the back. Coleman Edwards with 6 on 2 3-pointers. Zach Johnson has 4. Noah Starkey doing work inside. Already 13 points for the big fella. Jonathan Dunn with 2 points. Micah Spate has not scored yet. Quaylen Newton has not scored yet. And R.J. Palmer yet to score as well. So SNU getting contributions from their big guy and everybody else. A little bit on the slower part to chip in. Starkey unable to get it. And Gage Davis is going to be called for the foul for yanking on Starkey in the post. SNU again exploiting that mismatch down low. Third team foul on St. Cloud, just the first on Davis. Johnson Inbounds comes to Dunn. He's guarded by Tyson in the corner. Now Edwards up top. Three-pointer straight away, no good. Starkey, the offensive rebound. He stuffs it back in, and he's fouled. No answers for Noah Starkey inside. That foul's going on Heed Anderson, his first. And Trevin Marshall will come in for him. Quaylen Newton back in for Ashton Charles. Noah Starkey, 15 points in the first half to go along with 4 rebounds. And he is just dominating this game, Russ.
Yeah, St. Cloud State right now not sure what to do with just that post dominance. Right now, SNU on a 15-2 run over the last 4.5, mostly behind the back of the dominant post performance by Noah Starkey, as they have just not had an answer.
Number 34, Ethan Schumer, into the game for the first time for St. Cloud. He catches it on the roll, and he finishes through contact. That foul is going to go on Quaylen Newton. That's going to be Newton's first foul. He just came back in for Charles. Schumer has not played much this season. He's appeared in 25 games, averages 7.5 minutes per game, averages 2 points and 2 rebounds per game, and he missed the free throw. And SNU leading 28-21, 6.5 minutes to go first half. Micah Spate's brief rest is over, as is Sean Smith's with his 2 fouls. Entry to Starkey again. He's fouled and finishes through contact. And this is the advantage that SNU has, and they are exploiting it to no end.
Big smile for Noah Starkey.
18 points now for the big fella.
We're only 15 minutes in.
We've seen some crazy scoring numbers in this tournament so far. And Starkey, perfect from the line as well. And again, in the first game, Cam Martin, 46 points. The second game, Kevin Buckingham, 43. The Northwest Missouri State game, Joey Wittis with 39. And Noah Starkey already 19 first half points. Marshall cut off on Onwuka at the top of the key. Zach Johnson right in Brinley Tyson's pocket. Marshall drives, kicks. Smith thought about it, instead drives, kicks. Tyson has to force it up. That's off the back iron, no good.
Over the back push on Micah Spate boxing out. He's going to get the call.
And the foul's going to go on Trevin Marshall, as Micah Spate had good box out position. First on Marshall, 6-team foul on St. Cloud. SNU's lead is now 10, 31-21. A little bit of full court press extended by St. Cloud. SNU breaks that, no problem. Dunn open in the corner. Now Micah Spate will set up here right in front of us on the right wing.
Maybe kick the ball around, give Noah Starkey a breath. He maybe had an opportunity with a mismatch, but they're going to let him take a breather.
Dunn, cross-court skip pass. Spate inside. Starkey, he puts it in again. Great spin on Smith, and Smith had no answer with those 2 fouls. Nothing he could do. And Starkey scores unabated. The lead is 12.
On the defensive end, I want to give a big credit to this SNU guard defense right now, just shutting down St. Cloud from the perimeter. 2 of 10 now on three-point shooting. And right as you say that,
Onwuka with the three-pointer from the corner. Makes it 33-24. SNU with the lead as we're under 5 minutes to go first half. Dunn up top, guarded by Tyson. Now swings it over on the wing to Johnson. Spate with it. Gets inside. Floater is short, no good. Starkey, the offensive rebound, powers through and scores again! There is nothing they can do to stop Noah Starkey besides just hug him. Trevin Marshall with it now, guarded by Spate. Drives right by Spate. Spate ripped in and got it. Looked like he blatantly fouled him, to be honest. Spate finds a space. Left it off to Starkey. He's stripped and stolen. Onwuka gets it to Tyson. Steps into a 3, and he knocked it down. Looked like 2 blatantly missed fouls on both ends there, but it equals out, and SNU's lead is 8 as we tick under 4 minutes to go. That's Tyson's second 3 in 4 attempts. SNU doing a nice job to limit his opportunities so far. Starkey on the blocks, spins on Onwuka, the soft hook's no good, and Smith has the miss for St. Cloud. Pushing tempo quickly. Steps right around Johnson, but Spate ripped it away from him. Spate needing a breather.
Slows the ball down as SNU's going to get set in the half court. Bohach maybe screaming to take a break, and Spate says, yeah, I can do that.
3.5 to go first half. St. Cloud in a 2-3 zone right now with a decided heavy shield toward Starkey. Dunn, three-pointer is good from the corner. Timeout SNU. As SNU leading 38-27, 3:15 to go first half. Give me a full timeout here. We'll take timeout too. SNU 38-27 and looking good here in Maryville. SNU leading this one 38-27 over St. Cloud State. Noah Starkey 23 points on 9 of 11 shooting, and just a series of massive dunks inside. St. Cloud with no answers for the big fella so far. Balanced scoring for St. Cloud so far, 6 for Tyson, 5 for Davis, 7 for Smith, and 5 for Onwuka. Davis has it now guarded by Dunn. Jace Kitchen back in the game for St. Cloud. He's guarded by Spate. Tyson drives on Edwards. Tried to leave it off for Davis. Good defense there. Onwuka working on Ashton Charles. Posting up Sean Smith. Smith lobs it over to Kitchen. And Charles with a wild swing somehow missed the block. And Kitchen has the put in for 2. Charles lucky he didn't get called for a foul there as well with that wild swing. 2-3 zone for St. Cloud.
Interesting, sticking to it with Starkey on the bench. I guess the post presence of R.J. Palmer and Ashton Charles enough to keep them in this zone.
Dunn short on the three-pointer in the corner. Rebound is tipped out and controlled by Jace Kitchen. He's by himself, and he'll smartly hold it. And Gage Davis now back to Kitchen. Runs right through Micah Spate, and an offensive foul called on Jace Kitchen. Spate got to the spot first, and a good call by the official there.
Great
the
charge.
First on Kitchen and 7th team foul.
Great charge there by Spate. We talked at the top of the hour about Spate's offensive spark, but so far it's been all Spate on defense. Just irritating defense, getting in there, lots of steals. Just an incredible presence on defense right now as this SNU guard defense has been stifling.
You heard Coach Adam Bohach in the pregame saying if SNU could avoid fouling, they'd be in great position. Just 4 fouls on the Storm so far. Edwards has it on the wing. Now Charles, quick trigger for 3. Off the back iron, no good. Palmer and Smith tangle for the rebound, and look like they both got a piece of the ball, but Palmer's going to be called for his 2nd foul.
And that's a silly ticky-tack foul that SNU's prone to. Very far away from the basket, not what you want, especially with how tough of D SNU tries to play. But right now, not in terrible foul trouble, not the end of the world. All going the other way and with SNU on defense.
Palmer had his struggles in Bartlesville. Had a very strong season this year, 8.4 points per game and 4 rebounds per game. Davis, and kind of passive out there here in the first half. Tyson shoves off Edwards, no call. Smith on the block, working on Starkey, gets around him, and Starkey's going to be called for his first foul of the evening. That's the 6th team foul, so free throws the rest of the way for both teams. 1:39 to go first half. SNU still leading 38-29. Davis to inbound on the baseline, 20 on the shot clock. Gets it into Smith at the extended left wing. Davis will come retrieve it. Guarded by Dunn. Gives it to Onwuka, guarded by Charles. Onwuka goes through Starkey, leaves it off for Smith. Rejected by Charles, but a foul is going to be called down low, and they're going to get Ashton Charles with that foul. That will send Sean Smith to the foul line. That's going to be the first on Charles, 7th team foul.
That's a tough call. Charles thinking he had the block there. I'm going to send him to the line.
Smith is off with the first foul shot. It's his second attempt tonight. One more coming for the senior. A lot of international flair to this roster. Smith and Onwuka both from Spain. Oliver Ernval is from Sweden. And Adam Heed Anderson from Denmark. And then Aleska Dobrivicic, the red shirt, is from Serbia. So, again, a lot of international flavor in Minnesota. Entry pass comes to Starkey. Pass is tipped out by Kitchen, and SNU will inbound on the sideline with 14 on the shot clock. Minute 5 on the game clock. Spate inbounding here. St. Cloud still in that 2-3 zone. It has slowed SNU down a smidge. Spate got Kitchen in the air, gets inside, leaves it off to Charles. 5 on the shot clock, hook shot, rolls in for the sophomore. And SNU back up by 11.
Such a long hook there for Charles, high above the defender. And that one will take a couple of bounces and in.
Davis up top, hounded by Dunn, now Onwuka. Smith working on Starkey. Spins, gets into the body. Starkey sends it back. Davis has his pocket picked by Dunn. Oh, and he just stepped on the sideline. So St. Cloud will maintain possession with 12 on the shot clock, 32 seconds on the game clock. Great job by Starkey letting Smith get into his body there and then sending that shot back. Smith retrieves the inbounds pass. Step back three-pointer on Starkey. It's off the mark. And Spate has the rebound, 25 on the game clock. Shot clock is off, and SNU will hold for the final possession. Spate up top as SNU gets in position here. 10 on the clock. Swings it around. Edwards. Ball is tipped out of bounds by Gage Davis, and SNU will keep it here with 3.5 seconds to go on the game clock. Coleman Edwards will inbound here on the sideline.
4 seconds to get a shot off into Starkey.
Ball is tipped. Spate retrieves for 3. Oh, went for the bank, but it's no good. And that is how the half will end. SNU down early, but rallied to lead at halftime, 40-29 over St. Cloud State. We'll take timeout, and when we come back, we'll have first half stats and analysis, as well as getting you ready for the second 20 minutes here in a very exciting game in Maryville. We'll be back after this. Welcome back to Maryville. It's halftime here at Bearcat Arena as SNU leading St. Cloud 40-29. The teams are making their way back onto the court for second half warm-ups. SNU found themselves down early. St. Cloud led by as many as 9 in the first half, but SNU rallied on the back of Noah Starkey and rode the big fella to an 11-point lead in the first half. And Russ, 23 points for Starkey, already just 2 off his career high. Just a tremendous showing of how to take advantage of a matchup.
Yeah, so much fun to watch. Cloud has not had a response for him in the paint. We've seen them move to the 2-3. We've seen them throw multiple people at him in the paint with the double, and just no answer. Right now they're reeling, trying to figure out what to do with that. And right now SNU riding high on Noah Starkey's 23 points.
Let's run through the first half stats real quick. First for SNU, 16 of 31 from the field, 51.6%. They were 3 of 9 from three-point range and perfect 5 for 5 from the line. All 5 of those attempts coming from Starkey. Starkey had 23 points in the first half along with 5 rebounds, 2 of those of the offensive variety. 4 points for Zach Johnson, 5 for Jonathan Dunn on 2 of 6 shooting. 6 points off the bench for Coleman Edwards, 2 3-pointers there, and 2 points off the bench for Ashton Charles. R.J. Palmer had 2 fouls in the first half, did not score. Quaylen Newton only played 7 minutes in the first half, did not score. And Micah Spate, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. He was 0 for 3 from the field, though, and has not scored. He played 19 of those 20 minutes in the first half, and he looked a little gassed there at the end of those first 20 minutes. For St. Cloud State, Sean Smith leading the way with 7 points. Brindley, he does have 2 fouls, though, and that was a big reason why SNU was able to assert their dominance in the paint early in that second half. Brindley Tyson, 6 points on 2 3-pointers, just 2 of 4 shooting, though. 5 points for Diamond Onwuka. 5 points for Gage Davis, 2 of 6 shooting. He did not take a shot in those last 10 minutes of the first half. A little bit passive from him, so we can expect probably a very aggressive Gage Davis going to the basket in the second 20 minutes. 4 points for Jace Kitchen and 2 points for Ethan Schumer. Rounding out the scoring for St. Cloud State, they shot 46% in the first half, just 4 of 13 from three-point range, well below their season average. They were just 1 of 4 from the foul line as well. SNU dominated points in the paint, as you would expect, 24-14. Points off turnovers, 5 for each team, and the points off those 5 turnovers, 8 for St. Cloud, 7 for SNU. SNU 7 second chance points on 6 offensive rebounds, 5 fast break points for St. Cloud, none for SNU. SNU dominating the glass 21-9 and 6-1 in the offensive rebound category. And Russ, we know that things are going to be tweaked here in the second half. Looking for SNU, you're probably going to be looking to do more of the same, but your changes are probably going to be dictated by the changes that St. Cloud makes, primarily taking away Noah Starkey. What does SNU need to do once that happens?
Yeah, I think the big key is turning around off this big half. For Noah Starkey, looking at those passing lanes. I think with those mismatches, you're still going to be able to get the ball to Noah. But as Noah's been succeeding so much in scoring, really going to open up the floor and force St. Cloud State to find some different options. If Noah can kick out to open shooters, find open cuts on the backside, as we've seen him a little bit, that's going to be the big key on offense surrounding Noah Starkey.
SNU did a great job staying out of foul trouble in that first half. R.J. Palmer, the only one with 2. Newton, Starkey, Spate, Johnson, and Ashton Charles each have 1 foul each. No fouls for Jonathan Dunn or Coleman Edwards. And Jonathan Dunn did a great job of locking down Gage Davis there in the last half of the first half. So SNU really asserting themselves on the defensive end. And like we've said, the first 3 games, a lot of offense in those games, but not so much here in this one. And again, SNU much prefers a defensive struggle as opposed to an offensive shootout. But on the other side, with that defense, you got to expect Gage Davis is going to be more aggressive. Brindley Tyson is going to be more aggressive on offense. And what does SNU need to do to keep those guys not only from scoring, but off the foul line as well?
Yeah, Luke, we hinted at it right now. The defensive performance of this tournament has been by SNU, stifling defense, the way that they, as the guard play has shut down Davis. He looked really, really complacent during that second part. And so you're asking, coming out of the break, really look for Davis to be trying to assert a comeback here early. So it'll be up to SNU how the defense have done. The defense we've seen from Zach Johnson, the defense we've seen from Micah Spate. Very, very great guard play, but they're going to have to keep it up with some intensity as St. Cloud going to try and come out of the locker room here and get caught up quick.
SNU will have the basketball to start the second half. Starting lineups on the court for both teams. Looks like St. Cloud will start in a man-to-man. They ended the first half in a 2-3 zone that stymied Noah Starkey a little bit, but it did not prevent SNU from continuing to extend their lead. Newton inbounds to Spate in the backcourt, and we're underway. SNU did lead at the half last season against St. Cloud, and a quick double-team trap on Zach Johnson up top from Heaton Anderson. Lob down low to Starkey, and he'll go to work on Onwuka. Pivots, hook shot is up and good. And Noah Starkey ties his career high with that hook shot. He's up to 25 points. And SNU pushes the lead quickly to 13. Davis shut down on the nice double by Starkey. Tyson tries to step back. Gage Davis inside. Finishes over Starkey. Good job by Starkey for staying vertical there.
And there you see it right there. Davis going to try and assert his will a little bit here. That time with the bucket and the layup going right into the body of Starkey. But he's going to try and get more touches, get more looks, try to assert himself in efforts to make a comeback.
Dunn on the right wing, guarded by Tyson. Now guarded by Onwuka. Working on the dribble. Now Newton. Pivots, jumps it off to Starkey. Tried to dunk it, he missed it. Newton missed the offensive putback. And Gage Davis coming the other way. Starkey tried to go quickly underneath and was unable to do so. Heaton Anderson from the block is short on the jumper. Rebounds tipped and controlled by Quaylen Newton. SNU leads 42-31. Minute and a half gone by here in the second half. Dunn gets by Heaton Anderson. SNU working the weave up top. Spate with the mismatch now. Working on Sean Smith. Gets it down low to Starkey. Starkey spins across the lane. The hook shot's long. Newton the offensive rebound. He puts it up and in. Another offensive rebound for SNU. That's their 8th of the game. And the lead is 13, 44-31.
That complimentary post play right now by Newton and Starkey, both just picking each other up with the offensive boards.
Smith goes high, gets the offensive rebound. Starkey kicks the pass out of bounds. St. Cloud will maintain possession here with a fresh shot clock. 17:57 to go here in this one. And the officials will take a peek at the shot clock real quick. Shouldn't be a fresh shot clock. Should be a couple seconds off as Sean Smith got the offensive rebound off of the Brindley Tyson three-point miss. They reset it to 26 here with 17:57 to go. Inbound comes up top to Sean Smith. And Davis now with it, guarded by Johnson. Johnson doing a great job working on Davis. Rebound or pass knocked away and stolen by Newton. Spins off on Onwuka. Goes all the way. Kick. Done. Thought about the three. Thought better of it. Pass tipped, but Newton controls. SNU will reset. Dunn drives baseline. Reverse layup. Couldn't get enough English on that one to spin it home, and Smith has the miss. Quickly up ahead. Davis. Baseline jumper is short, and Dunn has the miss for SNU.
3 of 7 now for Davis as he's really struggling from that mid-range, trying to work his shot out, get stretched a little bit, get some of the shots falling, and right there had a little fadeaway over Starkey, a good shot look, just not falling.
Dunn controlling up top, guarded by Davis. A quick switch comes on Onwuka. Dunn working, spinning, kick in the corner. Zach Johnson thought about a three. He drives in, across the lane. Hook shot is off the glass and in as the shot clock expires. Zach Johnson with 6 points this evening, and the lead is 15 for SNU.
I've been Been very impressed this evening with the performance of Zach Johnson, scoring well off the drive, making a lot of good decisions, and really just been a great irritant on defense on Gage Davis. His play has been huge for SNU, especially in that first half.
Smith got Starkey in the air and was able to spin off the big fella and get the shot to fall. Drop the lead back down to 13 at 46-33. Spate guarded by Adam Heed Anderson. In Spate yet to score. Backdoor lob for Newton. Missed it at the rim, but it's because he was fouled by Sean Smith. That would have brought the house down. That's going to be number 3 on Sean Smith with 16:09 to go here, and Quaylen Newton will go to the line for 2, looking for his first points of the night.
Oh, you saw Newton's eyes light up. He made eye contact with Spate and spun off the back of the defender there at the post, went up strong. Now an opportunity to make good on these 2 free throws.
Onwuka checks out. Heed Anderson checks out as well. Kitchen and Marshall back into the game for St. Cloud. Newton hit the first, one more coming, and he gets that one to roll in. R.J. Palmer will come into the game for Newton. 48-33, SNU leading this one, 16:09 to go. Micah Spate encouraging his teammates to continue the defensive effort. Davis harassed. Zach Johnson doing a great job of fronting and playing defense without reaching. Nearly got the steal there. Davis backs it out to the three-point line. He'll shoot over Johnson. It's well off the mark. Marshall in there for the rebound, and he's going to be fouled. I believe they're going to get Micah Spate there. That's going to be Spate's second. Not a good box-out attempt there by the junior, and that allowed Marshall to get inside for the offensive rebound. First foul on SNU here in the half, and that'll take us to our first stoppage. 15:47 to go in this one. SNU leading 48-33. We'll be right back after this. St. Cloud inbounding to the base on the baseline. Davis gets the shot to fall. Sorry for the technical difficulty there. We're back up and running. SNU breaks the press, and Micah Spate with it over on the right wing. Working on Sean Smith, who's still in the game with those 3 fouls. Now R.J. Palmer, right wing to Jonathan Dunn. Entry pass to Starkey, gets deep, and he slams it again. Another rim-rocking rack attack from Noah Starkey. And SNU up 50-35.
That's in Starkey to 27 points now on the night, a new career high for him, and a lot of game time left to continue to build on that.
Davis looking to get aggressive, drives, missed the shot, but he's fouled. Going to be the first on Jonathan Dunn. Looking for an explanation there and gives the official a thumbs up on the call. So Davis to the line, 4-2, knocks down the first one. His first free throw attempt of the night. He's an 80% foul shooter this season. And he knocks down both shots to cut the lead to 13 with 14:55 to go. Palmer working on the full court press from Smith. Now Spade on the right wing. St. Cloud still in a man-to-man here. Spade working over to the left wing. He's got Smith on him. Dunn. Marshall in his hip pocket. Kick in the corner, Johnson. 5 on the shot clock. Johnson's going to have to hurry. Palmer from the elbow. Off the glass. Well off the mark there. And Davis has the miss. Smith. Crossover, no avail. Davis up top. Guarded by Zach Johnson. 14-14 to go. SNU still leading by 13. Davis drives by Johnson. Puts up the floater. It's short. And Palmer has the rebound. And he's quickly pushing all the way. No look, bounce pass to Johnson. Rejected off the backboard by Smith. Starkey is trapped inside, and he's called for steps. And Adam Bohach is furious that there was no foul called against his big man down low. Starkey looked like he was getting assaulted down there. He was called for steps, and he'll take a seat with 13:58 to go. Just the 6th turnover for SNU this evening. And these are two of the less turnover-prone teams in the country. SNU at number 31 at 11 per game. Davis, guarded by Dunn. Kick Marshall. He drives in. Up top for Kitchen. Wide open for 3. It's off the front iron, backboard and in. And the lead is down to 10 for SNU at 50-40. Palmer, double, steps through, gets it over to Micah Spate. Aggressive, drives in, floater, it's good, and Micah Spate finally on the board for the Crimson Storm.
Great finish there for Spade. SNU needing some momentum after St. Cloud State going on a little bit of a run. But St. Cloud State kind of slowing the ball down. SNU enforcing their half-court style here on St. Cloud, not something that St. Cloud seems to be as comfortable with.
Again, sorry for technical difficulties here. A little bit finicky. 2 free throws go down for Jace Kitchen. Lead still at 10. SNU leading this one 52-42. 13 minutes to go in this one. Charles trapped on the corner. Gets it over to Spate. Kick, wing, Coleman Edwards. Yes, for 3!
He got it to fall.
SNU doing a terrific job breaking the press. And they found a wide open Coleman Edwards, his 3rd three-pointer of the night. He's up to 9, and the lead is at 13. Under 13 minutes to play in this one. Kitchen tries to drive on Charles. Step back three-pointer for Kitchen. It's no good. Spate has the rebound, and SNU will slow it down. Spate driving on Marshall with his forearm right in his side. And a quick tie-up as Spate lost the dribble there, and that's a turnover for SNU. Possession arrow gives it to St. Cloud. Kind of a quick tie-up there. So St. Cloud will inbound on the baseline, trailing by 13. 12:20 to go in this one. Jace Kitchen has provided a big lift off the bench for St. Cloud. He's up to 9 points. Davis, hounded by Dunn, tries to take him baseline to no avail. Spins, Dunn's right there with him, steps inside of him, and finishes with the right hand.
A great take there by Davis as they're trying to get him warm. SNU continuing to be right there in his hip pocket. Good defense there initially by Jonathan Dunn on Davis, but Davis able to get to the rack.
Spate steps through, finds Dunn, and he'll cycle back out with 15. Drives baseline, up and under, gets it to go, and he's fouled by Sean Smith.
A nice looking spin there from Jonathan Dunn.
Unbelievable spin off the glass from Dunn. That'll be number 4 on Sean Smith. And that will take us to the under 12 timeout. 11:45 to go in this one. SNU leading 57-44, and at the line looking for more when we come back. $11:45 to go here in Maryville. SNU leading by 13, 57-44 over St. Cloud State. Jonathan Dunn going to the line to complete the three-point play. That last foul, number 4 on Sean Smith. The senior big fella will take a seat on the bench. Diamond Onwuka back in for the Huskies. One free throw coming for Dunn. 82% foul shooter this season. This is his first trip to the line tonight, and he knocks it down to push the lead to 14 for the Crimson Storm.
Yeah, Smith on the bench is going to be a big thorn on the side of St. Cloud State as they try to deal with SNU's height and energy in the post. But right now, Gage Davis getting it going, trying to keep this team in it.
He's got it on the left wing, guarded by Dunn. He'll try to back him down, spins baseline, got Dunn in the air, passed it off to Onwuka. He drives on Starkey, Kitchen with it. He's in the paint, gets it high over Starkey, it's no good. Rebound fought for, controlled by Ashton Charles. Great defense inside from SNU. And again, the passivity of Gage Davis a little bit surprising. Marshall right in Spate's hip pocket. Bohach screaming for a foul, wanting a foul there. Entry pass down low to Starkey. He missed the shot. Rebound tipped. Saved inbounds by Starkey on the sideline to Dunn, and SNU has a fresh shot clock. And they'll recycle up top. Great hustle from Starkey to track that one down.
Yeah, Starkey and Davis both fighting for it there, and you just saw energy over mind. Starkey battling.
Charles gets it into Starkey, and he's fouled by Onwuka. Going on his back, trying to control the big fella. That's number 3 on St. Cloud and number 1 on Onwuka here in this game. Zach Johnson coming in for Micah Spate to give him a quick break. 10:38 to go in this one. SNU leading by 14. 20 on the shot clock here for the Storm. Ashton Charles, quick trigger for 3. In and out, no good. And Tyson holding on to Noah Starkey on the box out. That's going to be a foul on the senior guard. That's number 4 on the Huskies and the first on Tyson, so SNU will do it again, this time with 30 on the shot clock.
St. Cloud experiencing fits right now, trying to slow down Noah Starkey there. SNU trying to get the ball into him. It'll be deflected out. They'll reset for the baseline inbounds, but struggling to stifle Starkey right now.
Inbounds up top to Edwards on the right wing. Working on Tyson. Fade away for Coleman. Edwards is good. Got Tyson on skates there, and Edwards up in double figures now with 11. Gage Davis in front of us here on the right wing, guarded by Dunn. Puts him in the body of Onwuka, and Davis knocks down the fadeaway jumper. Great job using the screen there by Gage Davis. Zach Johnson bringing it back up halfway through the second half here. SNU with a 14-point lead. Jonathan Dunn up top. He's guarded by Tyson. Now pulls the trigger for 3. It's perfect! Jonathan Dunn straight away from 3, and the lead is 17. Davis on the right wing again. Going to use the Onwuka screen. Same play. Step back three-pointer. Dunn right in his grill. It's no good. Marshall tipped to rebound around, but Charles has it. And he'll get it up ahead to Coleman Edwards. Adam Bohach calling out the play. Content to run clock here. Tyson right up on Jonathan Dunn as well, who has it in the big paw print, crossing over on Wuka. One-on-one, he'll pull the trigger for another three. It's short. Almost got his own rebound. It's Davis with it now. Lob, stolen away by Zach Johnson.
Perfect read there on the alley-oops. Johnson able to take the ball the other way.
Johnson gets inside of Marshall and lays it in. The lead is 19 for SNU. 9 minutes to go. Timeout, Huskies. SNU putting a little flex on right now. Let's see if this is a full or a 30. I believe it's a 30. We'll keep it right here. And Russ, SNU, those defensive clamps are just showing off right now for SNU.
Yeah, SNU just stifling inside, outside. Defense that we haven't seen in this tournament. And right now, St. Cloud State trying to respond, but with the frustration and the momentum that defense brings, no ability to respond, to get consistent shots up, no ability to hang right now.
And really, it's on offense for SNU, 52%. They're 5 of 13 from three-point range, a perfect 8 for 8 from the foul line, 10 offensive rebounds for SNU, and they are dominating the boards 31-15. No bigger stat than that as far as how you can discern SNU's dominance inside.
And it's been that hustle in the paint. We've talked about, Starkey having an outstanding game, but even we've seen that ball tipped around with Quaylen Newton, with Ashton Charles just staying after it, coming down with boards, and SNU absolutely running St. Cloud State out of the building on the offensive and defensive board stat lines.
And the impressive thing is it's been the other guys right now. Micah Spade only has 2 points. Jonathan Dunn has 11. He's 4 for 10 from the field. So kind of still working through some of those struggles that he's had the last month or so. But Zach Johnson, 8 points on 4 of 6 shooting. Coleman Edwards on 11 points on 4 of 5 shooting. He's 3 of 4 from three-point range. So the offense for SNU has been just as important as the defense, as St. Cloud still shooting 45%, but they're 5 of 18 from three-point range and just 5 of 8 from the foul line. So St. Cloud inbounding on the sideline right in front of us as we're back to action here. Davis controlling against Jonathan Dunn. 8:50 to go in Maryville. The right to face number 1 Northwest Missouri State. Davis all the way to the bucket. And he gets it in over Ashton Charles. Great block attempt there from Ashton Charles. Sean Smith is back in with those 4 fouls. Gut check time for the Huskies here.
We've talked about that differentiation in the paint. If Smith is to go out with his 5th foul, that's another nail in the coffin for St. Cloud.
Dunn working on Kitchen, drives right by him and lays it in. Jace Kitchen didn't stand a chance on that crossover from Jonathan Dunn. And Dunn is starting to cook a little bit here in the second half. The lead is 19 once again. Lob backdoor Smith, gets deep and flushes it. As Smith slipped the screen there, R.J. Palmer was up to double team, but Smith did a nice job of slipping that screen and got the easy dunk. Johnson gets it across the timeline to Charles. He goes all the way to the bucket, drops it off for Palmer, kicks it back up to Johnson, and SNU will hold it back out. 7:45 to go in this one. Edwards, now Johnson up top. He's guarded by Gage Davis. Gets the screen from Palmer, and they switch. Dunn gets by Kitchen again. Missed it short with the left hand. Dunn ended up in the basket stanchion, and he's coming back the other way. Kick in the corner. Tyson for 3. It's off the mark, no good. Rebound, fought for. Zach Johnson picks it up on the dead run. Bounces it ahead to Palmer. He goes baseline. Reverse layup. No good. He didn't use the backboard. Up ahead, Gage Davis working on Ashton Charles, crosses him up. Palmer looked like he got a piece of it, and Davis finishes through traffic. The lead is down to 15, 67-52. Down to 7 minutes to go in this one. Coleman Edwards, wide open corner 3, off the mark. Tyson quickly the other way. Here come the Huskies, ripped away by Johnson, and Edwards has it.
St. Cloud pushing tempo right now. SNU trying to slow the ball down. Zach Johnson with ball in hand after a couple of incredible plays on the defensive end. SNU now trying to get back into the half-court game.
Edwards up top, guarded by Davis. Now gets it to Dunn. He's guarded by Tyson on the left wing. 6 on the shot clock. Dunn's going to have to hurry. Palmer has to fire up a 3 from the corner. It's off the mark, no good. Not a great offensive possession for SNU there. And Onwuka, the Huskies, an opportunity to cut this down to 13 or 12 with a 3-pointer. Davis, guarded by Zach Johnson. Onwuka got Ashton Charles in the air. Kick corner, Kitchen for 3. No. And Palmer has the miss, and SNU will walk it up slowly. Just not happening from 3-point range tonight for St. Cloud. They're now 5 of 20. SNU 5 of 15 from 3. SNU's missed their last 4 and haven't scored in 2.5 minutes. Palmer was looking for the backdoor cut. 10 on the shot clock to Dunn. Drives baseline on Kitchens. Puts it up. He's blocked out of bounds by Smith. Looked like he got hammered from this angle. But either way, SNU will maintain possession with 5 on the shot clock. 5:42 to go here. SNU leading by 15 as we are at the under 8 timeout finally. And we will come back with SNU's maintaining possession. Again, 5 on the shot clock. It's 67-52 SNU. We'll be back after this. .542 to go here in Maryville. Again, the right to face number 1 Northwest Missouri State tomorrow night at 7:30. On the line here as SNU leads this one 67-52 over St. Cloud. 5 on the shot clock for SNU. Noah Starkey, Quaylen Newton, and Micah Spate back in. Jonathan Dunn will take a seat along with Ashton Charles and R.J. Palmer. Spate inbounding on the baseline. Gets it into Starkey. Back to Spate. In the corner, no good. Smith has the miss for St. Cloud. Good look from Spate, unable to knock it down. Kitchen with it. Now Davis up top. He's guarded by Zach Johnson. Gets the screen from Smith. Davis with a step back 3. It's no good. Rebound controlled by Smith. Fresh shot clock for St. Cloud, and Smith's knocked in the nose there by Quaylen Newton. Second foul on Newton, just the 4th on SNU. So St. Cloud will inbound on the baseline with 27 on the shot clock. Davis the inbounder.
Davis still struggling to get it going. 8 of 17 shooting now as he forced another 3.
Smith, 1 dribble, 3-pointer, no good. Newton has the miss for SNU. And Spate will bring it up. Taking his time, getting the call from Adam Bohach. Smith guarding Spate up top. Edwards, entry pass to Starkey. Double team comes from Kitchen. Starkey backs out of it, tried to feed to Newton, knocked away. Starkey gets it back and finger rolls it in. That was pretty from the big fella. And Starkey up to 29 now, and SNU up 17.
That SNU bench letting Starkey know they saw that finesse off the finger roll.
Kitchen fires up another 3. In and out, no good. And Newton the rebound, and Spate will bring it up. St. Cloud just not having it from 3-point range tonight. 5 of 23 now are the Huskies. SNU just 5 of 16. Spate drives on Onwuka, kicks, corner, Edwards, dumps it down low to Newton. Working on Jace Kitchen, spins with a right hook, left it short, Starkey over the top, tips it in. Great move from Newton, just left it a little short, but Noah Starkey, Johnny on the spot, using those long arms, and he's at 31.
Yeah, the SNU posts have had each other's back this evening with the offensive tip-ins, keeping each other clean on the glass.
Onwuka had his toe up, And then when he set the heel down, right on the line, and that's a turnover for the Huskies. Timeout on the court, 3:52 to go. SNU smelling their first NCAA tournament victory, but got to finish the deal. Up 19, 71-52. We'll be right back after this. SNU leading this one 71-52, 3:52 to go. And SNU inbounding on the sideline right in front of us, down in the corner. Quaylen Newton will inbound. Full court press extended by St. Cloud. Inbound comes to Zach Johnson. And quickly over to Micah Spate. Bounce pass to Newton, and Newton will bring it across. Zach Johnson had it hounded by Heed Anderson, excuse me. Now Spate up top on the paw print at midcourt. Dunn, double team, gets out of it. Zach Johnson slips, maintain the dribble somehow. Spate quickly finds Newton, and he stuffs it down with the one-hand flush.
Left him open on the double team. They were looking to stop Dunn. They leave Quaylen Newton right under the basket, and he flushes it home hard.
Incredible dribble keeping alive job by Zach Johnson there. Tyson with Zach Johnson in his hip pocket, unable to get the three off. Marshall drives. Spate ripped at it, and I believe he's going to be called for his third foul. 15 foul on SNU. 3:11 to go here. Onwuka and Kitchen back in for the Huskies. Davis inbounding. Comes into Onwuka. Now Smith, guarded by Starkey at the elbow. Gets it to Davis off the curl. Dunn right in his hip pocket. Dunn is foiled. Long off the shot. Kick back out. Tyson, the deep three-pointer. It's also short. Newton has the miss for SNU.
Davis continues his struggles, 8 for 18 now. So he was trying to go right at Jonathan Dunn there with no success. Now on the reverse side of that matchup, Dunn staring down Davis.
Starkey up top, guarded by Kitchen. Now Dunn. Kitchen switches onto him. Dunn goes all the way to the basket. Too strong, but a foul coming on Jace Kitchen, so Jonathan Dunn will go to the line for two. Second foul on Jace Kitchen, just the 5th team foul on the Huskies. And Dunn will step to the line for 2 free throws. He's 1 for 1 there this evening. SNU doing this damage, just 8 for 8 from the foul line. Just a combined 16 attempts thus far. These attempts will be 9 and 10 for SNU, so 18 total attempts in this game between the two schools.
Yeah, not a lot of fouls called, and for SNU's defensive play style, that's been a big advantage for them, playing tough D, not getting bailed out, and St. Cloud driving to the basket, tough D, not getting bailed out with free throw attempts. So big advantage for SNU the way this has been called.
Dunn readies and lofts the first one high, nothing but the bottom of the net. One more coming for the junior from San Antonio, Texas. 2:34 to go here in Bearcat Arena. Dunn is perfect on both. He's up to 15 points now, and SNU's lead is 75-52. Davis all the way to the bucket, blocked by Dunn. They're going to get him for the foul. Looked pretty clean on this side, or maybe a little bit of a body contact there.
Yeah, they'll get him with a tough call there, but again, Jonathan Dunn just stifling Gage Davis. Absolutely no chance of getting to the bucket on that one.
Dunn, polite as always, gets an explanation from the official and a little thumbs up for him afterward. Davis misses the first free throw. It's an 8-0 run for SNU. That's pushed the lead out to 23. Davis goes 1 for 2. Heat Anderson into the game for Onwuka. You got to wonder when St. Cloud's going to start fouling and extend this game as long as possible. Newton gets it into Spate. And Spate will work against Heat Anderson. Gets it across, and Marshall quickly with the double team, kicks it over on the other side to Dunn, and that's the end of that.
A little bit of patient offense here from SNU, an opportunity to push, but willing to wait for the good shot.
Dunn all the way, missed the shot, but Starkey's there. Another follow slam, a punctuation mark on this one for SNU. The lead now 24, 2:06 to go. Timeout SNU, we'll keep it right here. And Russ, just again, we can't talk enough about the defense for SNU in this one. St. Cloud just 37.5% here in the second half and a measly 1 of 11 from three-point range.
Yeah, aside from that first run at the very beginning of the first half, St. Cloud State just does not have the room to get anything going. They haven't had room for good looks from three. They haven't had room in mid-range jumpers. Everything at the bucket has been contested. And when you have that kind of day, your shots aren't falling. It's very difficult to force your way into a close game.
So SNU leading 77-53, 2:06 to go here. And again, tomorrow night against Northwest Missouri State. That game will tip off at 7:30. And Russ, it was a raucous atmosphere here in Bearcat Arena for that one. The stands were completely full 30 minutes prior to tip-off. That is not an exaggeration. They were jam-packed. They had to go over the PA announcement at about 15, 20 minutes before tip to tell everybody to scoot together more to make more room. Just an unbelievable atmosphere. And SNU, if they can finish things off here, will have their work cut out for them against the Bearcats tomorrow night.
Yeah, hardly a D2 atmosphere. What we've talked about this season, SNU plays up in front of big crowds, an opportunity to quiet the folks in green, maybe something SNU will try to live into. On a hard forearm or an elbow to the mouth there of Starkey as he comes back licking his teeth. Seems to be okay, but they'll call.
Not sure who got Starkey with the elbow. It might have been his own teammate Jonathan Dunn there, but either way, Davis gets the layup to go. Lead is 22. Newton inbounding in the backcourt. Lob to Johnson, and he is going to be fouled. It's going to be on Tyson. That's his second, as St. Cloud trying to extend this game a little bit. That's team foul number 6, so one more will put SNU in the bonus with 1 and 1. 1:56 to go in this one. Newton inbounding, lobs it in to Starkey, and up ahead to Jonathan Dunn, and he'll race to the wing and just camp out. Marshall with the foul will send Dunn to the line for 1 and 1 with 1:50 to go. Asking a lot for SNU to miss a lot of free throws. Down 22 is St. Cloud. SNU 71.2% as a team. It's about middle of the road nationally. But Dunn an 82% free throw this season. He's 3 for 3 today. And he's short with that one, but Davis has the miss. Pushing quickly. Heat Anderson back to Davis. Davis will pull the trigger for 3. Dunn's right in his face, but Davis knocks it down. And it's 77-58. Minute 35 to go. Newton gets it into Spate. Now back to Newton. Lob up ahead to Dunn, and it's 3 on none. And Dunn's going to go in for the highlight jam.
Yeah, a little too little late for the shooting stroke of Davis. He hit that deep 3 in Dunn's face, but this one looks like it could be all but over.
And the bench is emptying for St. Cloud. Heat Anderson knocks down the wild three-pointer. nearly got the steal on Spate. Marshall will foul Spate in the backcourt with 1:05 to go, and that'll send Spate to the line. Micah Spate has 2 points tonight. Russ, unbelievable.
2 points, but that does not tell the story at all. Spate controlling the offense, playing outstanding irritant defense. So a credit to him on the defensive end, but like we talked about at the top of the hour, good team into an excellent team. Credit to SNU, the way they have stepped up. You've talked about the others scoring tonight. Just everyone taking part. And when Spate, shooting 1 for 5, is able to stand behind Zach Johnson, Jonathan Dunn, Noah Starkey, big nights. That's how you're going to win ball games.
Substitutions aplenty for both teams. Brady Mulkey and Chris Stevens in for SNU. All the seniors out for St. Cloud as Spate knocks down the free throw. Newton will take a seat. Palmer in. Edwards waiting on Spate to check in. Oliver Earnval, Ryan Wynn, Jake Mussman, Ethan Schumer, and Onwuka, the 5 on the court right now for St. Cloud, along with Trevin Marshall. Edwards will get Spate. And just an outstanding senior class for the St. Cloud Huskies team, and they will definitely be in rebuilding mode next year as a lot of their production is gone with Smith, Tyson, and Davis, as well as Kitchen and Heat Anderson out. Marshall, Onwuka for 3, well off the mark. Palmer has the miss, and we're under a minute to go. SNU need one more possession here to run the clock out. Palmer will control up top, now over to Stevens. Now Johnson with it up top, standing on the logo at midcourt as the SNU faithful rise to their feet in appreciation of SNU's first ever NCAA tournament win. It would be the first time in Great American Conference history that 2 separate teams have won a tournament game. The shot clock expires and SNU will get it back to St. Cloud with 22 seconds to go. And Marshall dribbling it up, guarded by Edwards. Goes around the screen. He'll pull up for the long 2. It's off the mark. Zach Johnson tips the rebound. It's off of Earnval out of bounds, and SNU will get it with 13 seconds to go, and that should do it here for SNU. Russ, just a dominating performance for the Crimson Storm today.
Yeah, an absolutely great outing. SNU's defense stepping up, the strongest defense we've gotten the opportunity to see here at this tournament, shutting down St. Cloud State and an 81-61 performance, and now with an opportunity to move on to the second round.
The buzzer sounds, and that does it. 81-61 the final. SNU, their first ever NCAA tournament win. Just a tremendous defensive performance for the Crimson Storm as they take out the Huskies and advance to tomorrow's second round against Northwest Missouri State. That will be a 7:30 tip time here at Bearcat Arena. And Russ, just again, a dominant performance for SNU, and it was triggered early by a huge showing from Noah Starkey in that first half with 23 points, and St. Cloud just had no answer on the inside for the big fella.
Yeah, Starkey's height, a massive advantage in the way that he was controlling in the paint. St. Cloud State looking for options, going to the zone, going to the double, nothing working for them. Starkey getting out early with that dominant post offensive performance and giving SNU the opportunity to coast out the rest of the game on their solid defense. Turn this into a 20-point game.
Let's run through the final stats here for you. SNU finishing the game 32 of 63 from the field, 51%. They were 5 of 16 from three-point range, 12 of 13 from the foul line. They dominated the glass 40-23, including 12 offensive rebounds that turned into 13 second chance points for the Crimson Storm. On the other side, St. Cloud State, a respectable 44%, but just 7 of 27 from three-point range. Brinley Tyson, 2 of 7 from three-point range. Gage Davis, 2 of 7 from three-point range. And Jace Kitchen, 1 of 6. Your top three-point shooters for St. Cloud unable to get things going as SNU was all up in their face all night long. Just 6 of 10 from the foul line for St. Cloud State as well. Just 4 assists for the game as well. 10 assists for SNU on 32 made baskets, but 4 on 24 for St. Cloud State. For SNU individually, Noah Starkey, a career-high 31 points, 9 rebounds, many of those on the offensive end. Just a dominating performance from the big fella.
Thank you.
Just a dominating performance for Starkey. 5 offensive rebounds.
Hey, ma'am, hang on, one more.
For Starkey, the senior from Hutchinson, Kansas. Shaking off. He got in foul trouble last year against the Huskies and was unable to really have a huge impact on the game, but he made a huge impact today, Russ.
Yeah, absolutely. Just an incredible game from Starkey. We saw it early. We talked about the way that they were going to need to expose that lack of defensive post pressure from St. Cloud State, and Starkey stepped up and did it in an unbelievable manner. With some of the long hooks there, we saw some of the great back down moves, and really we saw a lot of offensive boards, second chance points, a couple of big throwdowns off of missed shots. Noah Starkey eating up that glass, helping out his teammates, and putting the ball through the hoop.
Jonathan Dunn finished with 17 points. He was 6 of 15 from the field, 2 of 6 from three-point range, and 3 of 4 from the foul line. Coleman Edwards off the bench had 11, 3 of 5 from three-point range, and 5 rebounds to go along with those 11 points. Quaylen Newton, 8 points, 6 rebounds, all in the second half, as he got into the action late after playing just 7 minutes in the first half and was scoreless in that. Zach Johnson, 8 points on 4 of 6 shooting. Micah Spate, just 4 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists. He only took 5 shots in this one, but you would never see a happier guy as you saw the guy strutting off the court after this one.
Now a great game for Micah Spate, and not necessarily a game that the stat sheet's going to show. He'll take his 4 points, but a great play today from him. A great team atmosphere for him. Just facilitating well, running this SNU offense, slowing them down when they needed to. I think one of the big keys to the game for SNU's offense was forcing St. Cloud out of the transition into the half-court game and exposing them in the post. But Micah Spate, a big piece of that.
For St. Cloud State, Gage Davis ends his illustrious career, 25 points. He was 10 of 20 from the field, 2 of 7 from three-point range. He had 5 rebounds, 3 assists, but SNU in his grill all night long. Just a terrific defensive performance for the Crimson Storm on him. Sean Smith, the only other player in double figures, he had 11, 7 rebounds, but he was hampered all night with foul trouble. Picked up 2 early in the first half and just really knocked him back a little bit. Jace Kitchen, 9 points off the bench. He was just 1 of 6 from three-point range. 5 points for Diamond Onwuka. Just 6 points for Brenley Tyson. He was 2 of 7 from three-point range. No makes on 3 attempts in the second half. SNU all in his grill as well, not allowing him to get those open looks. He came into the game number 1 in the country in three-point shooting at 51.4%. 3 points for Adam Heat Anderson and 2 points for Ethan Schumer, rounding out the scoring for St. Cloud State. SNU dominated in the paint 48-30. Just 8 turnovers for SNU, 9 for St. Cloud State. SNU 11 points off those turnovers. St. Cloud State with 13. SNU with 13-2 advantage in second chance points, courtesy of 12 offensive rebounds for the Crimson Storm. And St. Cloud State a slim 7-6 lead in fast break categories. St. Cloud State led by as many as 9 in the first half with 14:39 to go in the first half, but it was all SNU after that. SNU's biggest lead came with 2 minutes to go. They led by as many as 24 in this one. They led for 30 minutes of the 40 tonight. And Russ, big test coming up tomorrow for SNU. Obviously, you want to win as much as possible, and SNU an opportunity to pull off a big upset tomorrow against the Bearcats of Northwest Missouri State. And we saw their game against Minnesota State earlier this evening, and they're a really, really impressive bunch. And it's going to take another tall defensive task for SNU to pull off the upset tomorrow.
Yeah, a great squad all around. We saw them in that third game of the night. Very, very well played. They looked beatable, but very difficult. And we talk about, that their impressive record, their impressive play over the last year, their being undefeated coming into the tournament. But something you cannot forget about has been this home atmosphere. The fans coming out in full force in green, not an open seat in the entire house. And that is going to be definitely something we look to, how SNU will respond to the intense away environment even in tourney play. If they're able to overcome that, though, an awesome opportunity for SNU.
And again, Northwest Missouri State, a lot of these teams very similar. They don't have a Noah Starkey in the middle. But also Noah Starkey's going to have to defend out on the three-point line, and we saw him struggle with that at times against Southeastern. He did a great job of it in the Great American Conference Championship game, so we'll hope for another performance like that from the big fella tomorrow night against the Bearcats. Russ, any closing thoughts on this one?
Just continuing to try and stick out in the ways that SNU sticks out. You know, coming into this tournament, we stick out like a sore thumb in defense and in post play. We have another opportunity in the second round to do a little bit more of the same.
Again, the final from Bearcat Arena, 81-61 SNU. Moving on to tomorrow night against Northwest Missouri State. We'll have full coverage for you. Tip time at 7:30. We'll be on the air about 7 o'clock or so to get you ready for the matchup between the Crimson Storm and the Bearcats. Thank you again for joining us this evening. I'm Luke McConnell alongside Russ Frisbee. Thank you again for joining us, and we'll see you again tomorrow night.